G'day golfers, I'm Glen at Aussie Golf Pros, and I'm on holiday in the wonderful Byron Bay, and there's loads of sand here, so I thought what better week to bring you a bunker video that's really going to help you to get out of any bunker. So there's just 3 simple keys here that you need to remember, and I guarantee if you do these 3 simple keys, then you're going to get out of any bunker. Doesn't matter how high the lip is, you've just got to get these 3 simple things right. Let's have a go. Right, so we're talking about simple lies here, flat lie, not talking about upslopes and downslopes and 1 foot in the bunker and 1 foot out, just a standard lie. And key number 1 is that we've got to think of this as a fuller shot, not a chip shot. If you think of this as a chip shot, then you're really only going to get out occasionally and you're not going to be able to get the height that you need either. So a chip shot, if I want to hit a bunker shot 10 meters, a normal chip shot swing is only going to be that long. And clearly if you do that out of sand, well, that's only going to go 3 or 4 meters because the sand absorbs so much energy. It's going to absorb half to maybe 3/4 of the energy in your shot. So we've got to think of it more along the lines of a full swing because a chip shot just won't cut it. So when I say full swing, I literally mean a nice long swing, maybe not full power, but close to it, a nice long swing like that. And that's going to get us the energy that we need to get out of the bunker. And obviously the sand is going to absorb a fair chunk of that. So let's have a go there. Nice long swing. And that's only travelled around about 8 meters, and that's got us out of the bunker and onto the green. And clearly if I'd have hit that shot off the grass with that long swing, then it would have got a lot further. Right, key number 2, you've got to get your divot right. Let's talk about the size of the divot. It needs to be as big as your thong there. So if you go much deeper than that, then your club's going to get stuck in the sand. Smaller than that, and you're in danger of actually hitting the golf ball. Now, if you hit the golf ball with that long swing, then the ball's going to travel too far. So we've got to get the divot right size, about the size of your thong or your shoe, okay, the sole of it there. That's going to give you an idea of the strip of sand that you want to take there, and so that we can get a consistent distance out of the bunker. But it's really important where that divot is. So if I've got the ball there, a lot of coaches out there have said that you should hit the sand 1 to 2 inches behind the ball. That's all right for a tour pro, but that's really risky. You can easily catch hold of the golf ball if you're only 1 inch behind the sand. I've done it and I've seen it done. We want to be a little bit more generous with that. We want the ball in the middle of the divot. So draw a circle around your ball there, the size of your thong, that's a little bit too big there. All right, now have a couple of practices getting the right size of divot, the right depth, and in the right place. So if I just draw a line there opposite the ball, a little bit too far behind the line there, so just adjust a little bit. And so I've got half the divot before the ball, half the divot afterwards. That gives us the ideal opportunity to just splash the sand out, and the ball's going to be carried out with the shot without in danger of actually connecting the golf ball. So get the ball in the middle of your divot, and as I said, we want that divot about the size of your thong. That's what we call them in Australia. I know you might call them something different where you are. Right, let's have another go. Nice long swing, key number 1. Key number 2, got to get that divot right. Size of my thong, half the divot before the ball, and half the divot after the ball. Beautiful. Okay. Key number 3. When it's soft sand like it is here, we've got to use the bounce. What is bounce? Well, the bounce is the back of the golf club, the sole of your sand wedge, and what we want is the back of the sand wedge to be lower than the front. So we're actually hitting the sand with the back of the wedge. And a lot of mistakes that are made by club golfers are trying to get the shaft forward. You might do that off the grass, but in sand, we want the shaft more vertical and make sure that we're hitting the sand with the back of the wedge. If we go forward, we're reducing the amount of bounce and the leading edge can hit the sand, and that's the bit that digs in. The other thing that you can do is if you open the face a little bit, that drops the back of the sand wedge down, and increases the amount of bounce. So that's what I'm going to do with this shot, and obviously that gets you a little bit more height as well. So I really want to feel like the back of the sand wedge is hitting the sand. That's the real key here. Use that bounce. Right, I do wiggle my feet in a little bit just for a firmer base. You don't really need to, but I like to. I'm going to open the face a little bit so I've got that bounce, the back of the sand wedge down a little lower, and I'm really going to make sure that that shaft is vertical, maybe even back a little bit. We don't want it forward in this soft sand. Soft beach sand we've got here. Right, nice long swing, key number 1. Key number 2 is to get that divot in the right place. And key number 3 is to use that bounce. Now we've got a real high shot, skimming through that sand. I've got my divot the right size, it's in the right place. I'm using the bounce, and it's gliding through that soft sand, no problem whatsoever. And as you can see how high that went, that can get over any lip because you're using that loft. That's not a lob wedge, that's just a sand wedge. And you can see how high it popped out if you're getting the bounce to work and getting the loft to work correctly through the shot. Now, if you're in firm sand, or wet sand, then pop up into the corner here. Done a video a little while ago on a little bit of different technique to get you out of that firm sand. We're on a soft beach sand here. Long swing, key number 1. Divot in the right place, key number 2. Use the bounce, key number 3. It's the only bunker lesson you ever need out of a flat lie. And just to show you it's not a fluke, just a nice flat lie there. Right, nice long swing. Nice and high out of any bunker you want. Thanks so much for watching. I'm going to see if I can go and catch some waves. Are you the best golfer you can be?